All right, here we go. The season is beginning today. It's February 25th, and unbelievable that the season starts today. It almost just snuck up on us out of nowhere. It seems like just yesterday that we were still all hurt by that MLS Cup loss last season. It's been a painful off season, but new season, anything can happen. It just seems like this came out of nowhere this season all of a sudden because it was a very short off season. Usually we get going in March, but February, here we go. It should be a wild ride yet again for us Union fans. Welcome to the Doop podcast. I'm Zero, just a little podcast I like to do on my YouTube channel to talk about a team that I truly love in the Philadelphia Union. Big Philly sports guy all around, but this team I have such a passion for, and I'm really excited to get the season going here against the Columbus Crew at home. We'll be at Subaru Park, so hopefully, the Union can obviously grab the 3 points. You always want to start the season with 3 points. But the Union have a history of not really winning a lot of their opening matches. It's usually a loss or a tie. They very rarely seem to win their opening game, no matter what. But hopefully we can start with a win this season. We haven't lost at home in, a long time. I think it's been more than 2 seasons since we've lost at home in the regular season, that is. So it's certainly a fortress for us. Teams probably don't like coming to Subaru Park because they know they're most likely not going to come away with much of anything. We just seem to play so freaking dominantly at home. Even on the road at times we will dominate games. We've been so consistent over the past couple years. It's just beautiful to watch this franchise and what it's become. The only thing that's missing is that elusive MLS Cup. We had it in our hands last season. We had it. It was there. We tasted it. And then it was just ripped from us like our broken hearts. Ripped after a lover dumps us or something. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I was shocked. Still can't get over that, but new season. Just love watching this team. Some new players: Andres Perea, we got Joaquin Torres, Damian Lowe, a couple other youngsters, Holden Trent, and the newest signing was a homegrown player, forward Nelson Pierre, has been signed as well. I don't expect Trent or Pierre to get much playing time, if any, this season. Our backup keeper is now Joe Bednick after Matt Freese has been traded to NYCFC. That hurts because I hate NYCFC, but I really like Matt Freese. I think he's a really good keeper. He just wasn't going to get playing time behind Andre Blake. Let's be real. Andre Blake is the man. He's the best in the business. If you're backing him up, you're not going to see much time on the field. So Joe Bednick, the veteran, comes in. He is now the backup, with Holden Trent being the third string. We're still going to have Blake for several years, I hope, at least. And he's just, he deserves all the credit he gets. He's amazing. What can he say? It's Andre Blake. He is maybe not only the best keeper in MLS, he might be the best player in MLS, and I'm not kidding. He is that good. Overall, he might be the best player in MLS. But that's, another discussion for another time. Let's talk about what the possible lineup today could be against the Crew. Wilfred Nancy's Crew, who is now taken over for that team. You think of Montreal, who had a good season last year. He had them they were very good. One of the top teams in the East. They had Wilfred Nancy. They had Kai Kamara, who was just traded as well. And, of course, Joaquin Torres, who we just signed, who is on our team now. So Montreal lost quite a bit of its punch from last year, and now he's going to be coaching the Columbus Crew, who are always a feisty team for us. Never a franchise I truly liked. I kind of liked them when they had the McBride days, but they're just kind of annoying now. They got Zelarayan, of course, is a guy that can kind of take over a game, as well as our guy Gazdag now, who are hoping to have another MVP caliber season. I'm interested to see how Gazdag does with Ua, Hopefully Ua can stay healthy all year. We got Carranza. Can Carranza take another step forward? He's still a young player. He's becoming, he scored a lot of goals last season. Can he take that next step even further and score some really important goals now? Big goals, and finish even more of his chances, become more of a complete player. The only thing I'm worried about now is we don't have much off the bench, especially up front. It's going to be Chris Donovan, who's going to be, up top. Who had a decent preseason, by the way. He's going to be the backup forward right now as Chris Donovan, because we don't have, of course, Corey Burke's gone. I could see Quinn Sullivan perhaps playing some time up top. I would like that. I'd like to see Sullivan get into some more matches this season. We know McGlynn's going to be in heavy rotation because he was great last year. I expect Pereira and Torres to play a lot of minutes. I don't know how much they'll start. But I expect Pereira and Torres to get a lot of minutes, the new signings. Damian Lowe, I don't see him making the field too often unless we're trying to defend a lead late in the game or maybe in Champions League play, maybe. I'm not sure. Because Glesnes and Elliott are just such a good duo. It's really hard to break them up, and they aren't really guys that Curtin subs out unless they're injured or something, So I think that they're going to play, as many minutes as possible, as usual, as long with Wagner as well on defense. Bizo, I expect him to be the starting right back, of course. Harriel is definitely a good backup. He split time with him last year. I liked what Harriel did. I think he's a good player as well. Harriel would start on several teams in MLS, I think. It's just that Bizo is so comfortable now in that position, and it's a competition between those two. It's a competition, a healthy one between those two as to who is going to be starting. If one of them has a bad game, the other one's going to probably start the next match and take his chance and try to go on a run of several games starting. That's kind of what happened last year, and Bizo took over at late. But they're both great players. We have such good defense. We were the best defense last year. I expect us to be the best defense again this year because there really aren't any changes to the defense. We still got Martinez sitting in front of them, and now we have Pereira who can jump in there. We got Flock. But let's go over my predicted lineup today. This is what I'm predicting. It won't be any surprises. It's pretty much what we expect. Blake in net. Elliott, Glesnes and the center backs, Kai Wagner at left back, Bizo at right back, Martinez, Flock, Bedoya, and Gazdag in the midfield. Again, no surprises there. Captain Bedoya, who's back again, thank goodness. He played an amazing season last year. Just a shame he picked up a nagging injury late in the season that allowed him to miss MLS Cup. That was really bad, but he stayed healthy for the most part all season and was arguably his best season in MLS. He was terrific last year. And, of course, Gazdag was MVP caliber. I think Gazdag should have won the MVP, but, that's, again, another conversation, and it really doesn't mean anything now because it's a new season, but I thought Gazdag was definitely at least in the conversation for MVP. The fact that he wasn't even a finalist is kind of sad, but I understand because they put Blake in there. And up front, we're going to have Ua and Carranza. Again, no surprises because we don't have anybody who should be out for this game. So I don't expect anything different than that lineup today. If it is different, it will be a shock to me if he doesn't start any of those people. Unless any of them just aren't quite ready to go for the full 90. Maybe he starts somebody like Pereira or Torres. I don't know, but I expect Torres and Pereira to play off the bench today, as well as, potentially McGlynn and maybe Chris Donovan. I don't know, but that's what I'm expecting. Sullivan could get in. Curtin isn't a guy that uses a lot of his subs. We know this because he doesn't have a lot to work with on the bench. The fact that we have Pereira now and Torres, who aren't going to be regular starters, that does make us a little deeper. If we still hold on to Corey Burke, our team would be very deep right now, but we just I think we're still missing that extra forward. Like Donovan's okay, but he's not a guy that scores goals. And as a forward, that's your job. He didn't score any goals last year. He worked hard for sure, and that he does the best he can. But I said, let's see, can he take that next step forward? He's got to take that next step forward and become a goal scorer. I'm not expecting him to score 15 goals, but put in like 5, 6, 7 goals this year in your time, and that's pretty good. That's pretty quality for a guy that's not going to be starting. Give us some energy off that bench. Get us some goals like Corey Burke did last year. He was fantastic. He's going to be missed for sure. But if they go out and sign another forward at some point, that would be nice. But we'll see what they do. I know they just signed Nelson Pierre, but again, he's a homegrown. I expect him to be not seeing many minutes yet. But I don't know. Maybe they think he's ready to play some minutes and score some goals. That would be great. Actually, I don't care who. If Nelson Pierre and Donovan come up, start scoring goals off the bench, that'd be amazing. That'd be great. I'm all for that. Then we don't need to sign anybody else. But we need somebody that can prove to come in and score some goals and contribute to the team that way off the bench, because we need that. You need that in MLS. You really do. You need that super sub. Maybe it'll be Quinn Sullivan this year. I don't know. Maybe. It would be nice to see him get more minutes this season too. We still got Daniel Craig, who could be... the fact that they signed Lowe shows me that they aren't quite sold on Daniel Craig being the backup center back, which is fine. He hasn't played a lot of minutes at all in MLS, just a few here and there. So, I think he'll be good in time, definitely. I think he just needs maybe another year before he's ready to really jump in and contribute a lot of minutes and do well. But again, another homegrown to look forward to. We have just a plethora of them that just keep going. It just doesn't stop. Selling Aronson in the off season, Paxton Aronson, just another homegrown going off to Europe. We've done it. We've done it with several players. Mark McKenzie, Brendan Aronson, Austin Trusty now is over in Europe. And, of course, he was a homegrown of ours before. And now Paxton Aronson. And I could see McGlynn and Sullivan getting picked up. Definitely McGlynn, at least. Potentially Harriel, if they play enough. These kids are good. They're good. They've played in big moments and have not looked out of place. But this team is poised to make another deep run. They really are. They're poised. And that's what the signings of Torres, Perea, and Lowe are all about. Bringing some depth, some MLS experience to the team, off the bench, potentially in some starting positions as well. So we're not fully relying on those homegrowns. I think last year we relied a lot on our homegrowns, which is, is okay, but, we were using players, younger players, so often last year, and at times it just wasn't working for us, because we're not getting a lot of contribution. Like Sullivan, McGlynn, they're great players, don't get me wrong, and Harriel, and even Donovan, and these younger guys, but they're not getting the stats that you need, sometimes off the bench, I guess you can say. They need to be a little bit more seasoned, and I think McGlynn is now, but we're still waiting on a few others to be seasoned. McGlynn, I trust out there in any situation. He had a little bit of a shaky cup, I know, but he still performed okay, and it was a big moment for him. I think he's going to use that to learn and get even better, but he's very good on the ball. One of our best passers for sure. He's got a soccer IQ that goes beyond his years. But yeah, those off-season signings were all about just building an MLS-ready team that can compete, in Champions League as well as MLS playoffs, and hopefully MLS Cup again. I don't know how other fans view our team. how other franchises, maybe they're sick of us at this point because we've done well the past couple years. I don't know. I don't know how neutrals could hate our team that much just because we we don't build with superstars. We don't buy those Higuains or Gareth Bales or whatever and bring them to our team. You know, we build with youth, and we build with signing just solid players that fit our system. You know, nothing too fancy or crazy. We don't spend a ton of money. Most teams need to spend lots of money to be good. You look at teams like Seattle, teams like Miami, teams like LAFC, of course. They gotta spend a lot of money to be quality. They don't have these youth players that can, really, take over games or just, be big factors in games. We have a lot of young players like Flock even, who is so important to our team. And but yes, we spent money on Ua. Yes, we made Gazdag a designated player now. But these guys weren't known before they came into the league. Really, they weren't those big stars. But that's all of our money right there. That's all of our money. We don't. We have to go out and sign players like, Joaquin Torres for less and get the most out of these players. Got to get the most out of a player like Quinn Sullivan and Chris Donovan and the likes. And that's what Jim Curtin has done. He's gotten the most out of guys like Bizo, Jack Elliott, who was a late draft pick. These guys that are worth way more than we're spending on them. But they are only worth that much because of what we get out of them, because Curtin puts them in positions to succeed, and they fit the system really well. And, Glesnes is arguably the best center back in MLS. Him and Elliott are easily the best center back pairing in MLS. And these guys weren't known. Everybody talks about other players. Like how much was made on the Chiellini signing, right? When he came to MLS, I was even buzzing about it. But he barely even played. The guy wasn't even a factor for LAFC. And he probably won't be that big of a factor before he retires. And that's all you make a talk about. And then Glesnes and Elliott are still the best. And of course, Glesnes wins Defender of the Year, as he, arguably should have over his own teammate Elliott, who I think could have been up. Wagner, who easily could have won it as well. It's like, I think it was Glesnes, right, that won it. I believe it was him. It was him or Wagner that won it. Pretty sure it was Glesnes. I think it was over Alexander Callens as well. But, our defense is just so good. So good. I love watching our team defend. Makes me proud to see them getting shutouts and working for each other, throwing their bodies on the line, hustling back. They take pride in that, you can tell. They get pumped up when they make a defensive play. I love that. I love to see that. As a coach, that would make me so happy. And would just motivate me more as a teammate to do more for my team as well. So this team is so poised to make another deep run. Can our offense be as good as it was last year? I highly doubt it's going to be as dominant as it was. I was so surprised how our offense took off the third into the season and just was unstoppable. We were setting records, just obliterating teams, 6-0, 7-0, 4-0. Like it was just, it was insane. Like it was unfathomable what we were doing. Just uncanny how this team was scoring goals for fun. I don't see us doing that week in, week out again. There's just no way. That was just a once-in-a-lifetime kind of like season there. It should have been wrapped up with an MLS Cup, but hopefully we can do it this year. I think our offense is still going to be good, one of the better ones in the league for sure, but it's not going to be as dominant as it was last year. Like Ua, Carranza, and Gazdag are still going to have another great season, but teams are going to be more onto us. they're going to work harder to stop us. They're going to have new schemes to stop us. And again, we don't have Corey Burke in there. We don't have Paxton Aronson. Our offense is going to be a little different, especially when we go to the bench. I expect Torres to chip in some goals and assists. That's what he's there for. If he's not in there getting goals and assists, then, it's going to be kind of a failed signing. But we'll give him time. Ua needed time, and he definitely grew into the team. Gazdag needed time. He definitely became one of the best attacking players in MLS now. Just so poised and so confident and with everything he does, and he's just great at finishing. Gazdag finishes most of his chances. That's why he put up 20 goals last year. Freaking was ridiculous. Insane what he did last year. I don't think a Union player is going to top a season like that in a while. It's going to be a long time before we see another season like that from a Union player. So, I appreciate that while you still can. That was amazing. Just absolutely amazing what Gazdag did last year. What the whole team just did last year. But I'm sure that most of the analysts are going to pick us to be a top contender again, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be. We have our starting lineup returning. We have some of our bench players returning. We have players that should get better, like Carranza, Donovan, Sullivan, hopefully, Flock, McGlynn, going to be even better this year, Harriel. And then we pick up a few veteran players that have MLS experience, like Damian Lowe and Joaquin Torres. Perea, who's a young player, but he has MLS experience, so he's another one, still kind of growing into his own. So it's exciting. It's very exciting what this team is going to be able to do this year. I can't wait to watch. Hopefully I can watch. I don't have Apple TV yet. I don't have the money for it right now. I've got so many other I got other streaming services, and I have bills to pay and stuff like that. I can't I can't be spending money on Apple TV right now. So I'm going to try to find a stream of the game today, I hope. If not, I'm going to be following play-by-play or listening on the radio, however I can. Maybe there's a stream out there that I can find and watch the game. I really want to. And I'm hoping to have Apple TV by like mid-March or something like that. Sometime in March, hoping to have Apple TV so I can watch everything going forward. So, man, it sucks that, it's all in one place now behind a paywall. It usually is now, before it was on ESPN Plus, but, games are, sports that need to grow in this country should not be behind paywalls. If they want people to watch the sport, they should give games for free, but that's just me. But whenever there's money involved, corporations are going to go after that money. They don't give a crap about what the fans want or anything like that. As fans, if we had it our way, we'd be able to watch whatever team we wanted, for free. We wouldn't have to watch our team behind a paywall, but that's how it is. Realistically, like I said, if you want your sport to grow, like hockey is behind a paywall too, ESPN Plus. I don't know about local games though. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're on cable or something. I watch a lot of games on ESPN Plus for hockey. And then for other sports like NBA, NFL, I watch streams. I don't pay for all these packages and cable TV and all that. There's so much. There's so many streaming things. It makes my head spin. There's a new one coming out every week. A new channel has their own streaming service, and it's absolutely ridiculous. There's only one or two that I actually want to use. That's Peacock and like ESPN Plus basically, and then like Netflix. Like I don't need to use all of them. HBO Max is okay. Like I don't really use Amazon Prime. I don't use Disney Plus a lot. I don't use I really don't care about Apple TV other than MLS. It's just crazy how many streaming services. I'm sure I'm in the same boat as a lot of people thinking how absurd it is. And the fact that, sports are hidden behind paywalls. You want people to watch it. You want fans to watch these games. Make them accessible. Make them more accessible. Don't hide them behind all these paywalls all the time. And people can watch the sport and start to love it and get to know it better. You're not going to grow if people have to pay money. Imagine if MLS was free for everyone to watch. Any team, anytime. Imagine that. Imagine casual fans are like, you know what? I'm going to try watching this MLS. I got a team in my city. I want to support them. I want to try watching them. People are buzzing about them around the city. Maybe I'll watch them too. But no. It's all about that cash grab. How can they pay somebody to stream their games and get that money? So that's what it's about for them, unfortunately, but that's what us fans have to deal with every year now. It seems there's new ways to watch our sport, each season. First it was NBC Sports, then it was ESPN, now it's Apple TV. What's next? Are we going to be watching our games on Netflix in a few years? Who knows? And spending more money to watch them? Who knows? Hopefully not, but we'll see. Anyways, that's my gripe on all that. We kind of get way off topic here, but that's what happens when you're doing a podcast by yourself and you have to go with your own thoughts and not bounce off somebody else. But I'm excited for this season. Again, it feels like it came out of nowhere, but we're here. We are here. I'm going to make some food, make some coffee if I have any left, and hopefully get a stream up of the game and get the game going. Can't wait. Go Union. Let's get this cup this season. Any Union fans, please leave some comments in there if you are listening. I appreciate those that do listen to this. Not one of my more popular things on my channel, but I enjoy doing this. I did a podcast, the Doop podcast, in the preseason. You can go back and listen to that one. I said I'm going to try and do more regularly this season. I only did a few last year. I don't know, for whatever reason, didn't do as many. But certainly if more people start listening to these, I will do them more often. Not like every week or every game, but, maybe like twice a month or something, something like that, and talk about the team and what's been going on and my thoughts. Anyways, thank you so much for listening, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you on the next podcast. Till next time, 0 is the number. And go Union. Let's get some dupes today.